Yeah. What's poppin', YouTube? It's Kings out with another Just Different video for my Just Different people. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This video is going to be about how your internal thoughts, feelings, beliefs, values, whatever, your morals, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter, whatever you want to call it, controls and shapes and creates your outside reality. First, I got to start off with like a little exercise or whatever, right? I need you to take a second and just say apple in your head 3 times in a row. Like, yeah, just close your eyes and think the thought apple. You know what I'm saying? What come to your mind? Do you see the apple? Or do you hear the word apple? You know what I'm saying? Are you sounding that word out in your head? Are you spelling the word apple? Because it's different ways that the mind works. I know that I'm more of a word kind of person, if that makes sense. Like, so when I close my eyes and I say apple in my head, I have a glimpse of what an apple would look like that'll come up. But for the most part, when I think apple, I kind of hear it. I don't see it. I kind of like, it's the word apple. Like, I can feel the word. I can feel my inner voice say the word apple. So I'm a verbal, like, I guess, magician. I don't know. I'm somebody that's verbal with my mind. You know what I'm saying? But you could be somebody that is, you are more like into symbols. You know what I'm saying? Pictures. So figure that out right now real quick. Just take a second, close your eyes, and just be conscious and aware of, like, okay, so when I think of something, what does that really do? How does my mind process that? And so we doing that to go into the next point. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That same inner voice that you just used to say apple, to see apple, to think about apple, whatever, that is the universal essence that created everything that is in this reality right now, right? So the same inner voice that you have is what created you. It is what created me. It is what created all of life. That is the essence of God, right? God put that essence within all of us so that we could so that God could experience whatever life is, because basically, essentially, we are a piece of God, right? We are co-creators with God. So the world that we live in today has tried to convince the man and the woman that life is all coincidence. You know what I'm saying? You wake up, it's a new day, and you have no control over what happens throughout the day. It's just a random series of events. What this video is about is, I want you to understand, I want you to begin to try to practice the power and the control of the mind to shape your day. Whatever you believe about yourself, whatever you believe about others, whatever you believe about the world will become true for you. It might not be true for somebody else, but it will be true in your reality. Now, I'm not saying that you could believe some dumb shit like there's no such thing as gravity and you're gonna start flying. No. What I'm saying is that the way that your mind perceives things, the mental blocks that you put on your mind. So say that you believe that you can never fly. You try to go get on an airplane, bro. This is how deep the mind shit work, because I'm trying to tell you, this is how your matrix can get set up on. You can block yourself in the matrix and think that it wasn't that. I just use the example of, yeah, you can't try to convince your mind that there's no such thing as gravity and fly. But if you let your mind convince you that, like, you're not worthy of flying, you don't have the money to fly, you don't have the money to travel or whatever, because, yeah, it's a subconscious mind. You would literally not be able, you would try to go on a trip or something, like, and literally, like, flight canceled, fucking storm before, like, the flight was finna take off, or your ticket get lost, or they cancel the flight, or this is how the mind works. So you got to know that everything that you believe about yourself, everything that you believe about your reality, everything that you believe about your environment shapes your day. It shapes your life, your in and out life, your day-to-day life. I mean, so say you got self-doubt, or say you somebody that feel like you're not worthy of love, or you're not worthy of giving love. the more you sit in that, the more you believe that, the more those thoughts become physical. They become reality, because everything is created within the mind first. If I was to create a chair, I would have to literally think about, or even, let's not even say a chair. If I was to write down the word apple, how I was just telling you to think about apple in your head, the voice in my head would have to spell apple first. It would have to see apple. It would have to understand, okay, A-P-P-L-E. And then it would get transferred to my hand, to the paper. So the mind is the all. The mind creates everything initially, and then it comes into the physical realm. The more that you hold on to thoughts, the more that you repeat them, the more that you constantly think about them, the more that becomes your reality. So if you constantly thinking, man, nobody love me, I'm all alone, you know what I'm saying, I hate myself, you will begin to become those things. So you want to think the positive things. You want to literally think that, because it's going to be, once you start to try to get a control over it, to get a hold over your mind, you start to realize that you are actually in a war against yourself. The outside world ain't never really got shit to do with you. It all has to do with you internally. And so when things outside of you test you, when things outside of you happen, it's to test that inner voice. It's to test, do you actually have control over how you feel and what's going on, or does the outside influence have control over it? Because that's what we're really here for. We in the physical realm as a test. Our soul is what we truly are. This physical flesh, this body, this world that we living in is not really real. It's all an illusion. It's all imagination. But it is all real through the essence of the soul. It is through the vision of the soul. So the soul begins to believe that it is real. It begins to think that it's actually the ego instead of the creator, instead of what is capable of creating and shaping the reality, because it's not using it right now. So you have to consciously begin to use it. So it's gonna be a quick video. I just wanted to go ahead and say that real quick, because we're gonna go way deeper into this. I just wanted to let you know that, like, keep that conscious thought that this is gonna change your thought. It's gonna change your thought pattern. It's gonna change your life. Every time something happens to you, think about, how did I feel about that before it happened? I'm gonna give you an example. I don't fuck with the laws. I don't fuck with the police. So one of my, I don't speed nothing. I always got my seatbelt on, because one of my biggest fears is getting pulled over by the laws and getting killed by the laws. My fear of the police has gotten me pulled over numerous times when I'm not doing nothing, but I see a police officer and my mind automatically gets to racing, like, man, I hope he don't pull me over. He better not pull me over. He ain't gonna pull me over. Please don't pull me over. And then I end up getting pulled over because I'm harboring the thoughts. I'm literally attracting it to me. But instead, if I had the control and power over my mind to just see the laws and be like, oh yeah, he not worried about me, I'm good, then that's what it would be. But when I'm sitting there constantly manifesting, like, man, please don't pull me over, please leave me alone, please leave me alone, you got to know that the outside world, this matrix, this simulation, is going to throw things that you don't want at you to test you, to see if you can deal with it, if you can handle it. If it's one of your fears, you're going to have to face it. Really, all of your fears, you're going to have to face every single one of your fears. Everything that you don't want to have happen in your life, everything you don't want to come to you, most likely will come to you. So you might as well just get over it internally first before it even get there, because you bringing it to you by constantly thinking about it. So if it's something that you scared of, say you scared of heights, get your mind to embrace the concept that you are okay with heights. Like, and it's not easy. You start to be able to see that the mind is the all. If the mind follows, the body will. It has no choice. So attack the mind with positive thinking. Attack the mind with the things that you want to actually think about, that you want to, like, you know what I'm saying, the life that you want to live. Don't get caught up in the life that you're living in that you're not happy with, because the more that you sit there and think about it, the more that you hold on to it, it's not gonna go nowhere. You got to start to envision the things that you actually do want in your life and imagine them as that they are actually there. And it's not as easy as it sounds. It's really complicated. That's why you got to start practicing meditation. You should be meditating at least 3 to 5 minutes a day, just to strengthen the power of the mind, because the mind is the devil's playground. You can put that nigga on the leash if you really begin to discern and you start to focus on, okay, which one is my spirit, my soul voice, and which one is the devil voice or the ego, you know what I'm saying, just trying to confuse me, trying to deceive me. I got 3 affirmations that I want you to use to start this little journey and see how it affects you. The first one is if you deal with self-acceptance issues. If you deal with self-acceptance issues, usually you like a people pleaser. You always trying to like cater to everybody else. This is what I am. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do a lot. So this is one of the affirmations that I use to start trying to break that way of thinking for myself. I am that I am. So whenever something happens, say, because you got to know, as if somebody that is a people pleaser, you have to know when you are doing the right thing, right? And somebody, like, you got to know when you in good standing and when somebody just really trying to get over you, trying to use you. You know what I'm saying? Because as a people pleaser, you don't want to make people feel like you don't like them or you're not treating them right. So people take advantage of that. It's like, oh man, you can't help me out. Like, in reality, you're not supposed to, bro. You good. You know what I'm saying? You done already did what you're supposed to do as a person that you are. Like, you did it. When you get caught in situations and positions where you start to feel uncomfortable and people are trying to push you towards doing things that you don't want to, I'm not telling you to tell them, yeah, I am that I am. This is for yourself to get, because it's really for you. Don't worry about them. Get over it on your own. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Be stern with them. And then when you with yourself and you thinking about it later and just them thoughts are constantly harboring you, trying to hold you down, make you feel like you ain't do what you're supposed to do. You wasn't the good person you're supposed to be. Constantly remind yourself, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am, like, I am that person. You know what I'm saying? I am a good person. I know what I'm capable of. I know how I treat people. I know what I've been on. So you're not going to try to convince me that I'm not living right. You dig what I'm saying? The next one is, I am constantly healing from my past and looking forward to the future, right? I am constantly healing from my past and looking forward to the future. Got to get out the mind. I ain't gonna explain that one. It's just, you don't want to be caught in your mind thinking about the past and the things that you messed up on and the things that you wish you did better on. And you know what I'm saying? No, you are constantly healing from the past and looking forward to the future. The last one is, I'm worthy of love and worthy of giving love. If you say these three to you every day when these situations arise to you, I am that I am, when you feel like you're not accepted, you know what I'm saying? So, because you got to accept yourself first. That's what you got to learn. Self-acceptance is the key. Once you accept yourself, everybody else for some reason start to like accept you and let you be who you is. And then when people don't accept you, you don't feel no type of way because you already know that you confident in who you are and what you got going on. The second one, I'm constantly healing from my past and looking forward to the future. When your mind get caught up in moments where you regretting things from the past, you wish you did this, you wish you did that, keep your mind focused on that saying, on that affirmation right there. And that you'll see how that first thought that was coming to you, that original thought, it basically dies. You erase it with this new thought. And so every time, you got to make this a habit. Every time thoughts come to you that you don't want to think about, you replace it with a positive thought and you see that it'll just disappear. Now it just becomes, now you form that pattern of thinking positive thoughts, because a lot of us are stuck in a pattern right now of thinking negative thoughts. And I've been in it. I still go through certain days and stuff, like, so I'm not speaking from a high horse. I'm speaking from experience. Like, know that like you can do this, brothers and sisters. Like, attack your own mind because your mind will attack you. That's basically what I'm saying.